Hey guys, Justin Bucci here, another week, and we're going to go ahead and review the following. Let me just turn off all the stuff here. That's just for me, and let me delete all of this. Just give me a second here. So let me just go to the 1 hour time frame. Let me go to the chart for Monday. So as always, let's backtrack to Monday. This was Monday. So Monday, very simple. Just very simple. What's price doing? Going down. Where's the first logical entry? Right here, break and retest. Okay, that was that. If you didn't see that, it's okay. Go to the 30. What do we see? I don't see anything. Go to the 15. What do we see? We see SNRC1. SNRC1 plus closing price, right? So, oops, there's that. Let me just zoom out a bit, excuse me. So we have SNRC1, closing price, price dropped, good to go. So that was it. Go back to the 1. Monday, we're break and retest, super simple, right? Like we gotta think logically, like what's price doing? Is it, is it going up or is it going down, right? It's going down. So that's that. This one's a little bit more tricky because price is technically bullish after it broke this lower high here, right? But I'm following price always, right? What current price is doing, so gotta pay attention to current price. So do I see any setup here? I don't see anything. Go to the 15. This is where I go to the 15. Do I see anything? Yes, I see something. When it was like this, I was like, oh, okay, looks like a QMR, right? High, low, higher, high, lower, low. And I was expecting the price to pull back to this level and go down. It did, but then it continued to go up, but that's okay. I think this was only a TP1. Still valid trade. I would still take this because price broke structure here. This was the structure that it broke. And this was the level, right? The QMR level. So that was that. Nothing complicated there. Go ahead and move over to Wednesday. Wednesday is a little bit more tricky again. So at first glance, you may not know what price is doing, but that's why you follow the CMP, right? This was the last lower high that got broken. So that tells you that price is bullish, right? Now, when price closed all the way up here, right? Now you have to think logically. Do you expect price to come back to this area? Possible. Not likely at all, because look at all the momentum that it had going up. So then you can't see it this clearly, so you got to go to the line chart. I always use the line chart. So then what do we have? We have this QMR level here and a breakout level here. So that's where price will reach to first, and then go back to the chart. And as you can see, price tapped it, so I tapped this one, and that was that. So pretty simple, right? Just a break and retest, right? So basically it's just a break and retest, right? Price broke out of this and then pulled back, and that was the first level that it would pull back to. That was the closest to price action and current price, right? So hope that makes sense. Okay, this one's a little bit more tricky. Looking at this, you might think that price is moving sideways, but we don't trade that, we trade structure. So to me, I'm just looking at I know price is bullish, so I'm just marking this level here. So price is bullish. So even more clear here, right? Just check it out. Higher low. Here's the higher low. Here's the higher high. Price is bullish. Do you see any setup in here? Nothing on the 30. Okay, go to the 15. Anything on the 15? I don't see anything on the 15. Go to the 5. Do you see anything on the 5? Before, let's see, before 8. Oh, yeah, okay, look at that. What's that? QMR, right? So, as always, mark the QMR, mark the apex, and price tapped and went up, right? Super simple. That was Thursday. Okay, that's Thursday. Let's go to Friday. Friday. This one's a little bit more tricky, as again, price is bullish, right? Now, at first glance, you can say price is moving sideways, right? But again, it's not how I trade. I'm a discretionary trader, and I'm always reading price action. And there's a difference between, A+ setups A setups, B setups, and C setups, right? So obviously you're not going to risk, for this situation, you may or may not risk a higher percent, right? But at any rate, I'm looking at the CMP always, right? So I know price is bullish, but even though price is bullish, I'm asking myself, what is price doing right now? So when I asked myself that before New York, I said, okay, price created a double top. So that's the first sign. I was like, okay, price put in a double top. Okay, what do we got here on the 15? I don't see anything on the 15 prior to the New York. Go to the 5. Let me see if I see anything. Okay, we have a shift of structure and a breakout, right? And that was the first one price got to, right? Break and retest. Okay, perfect. Now let's say you didn't see that, right? Go back to the 15. All right, you can go back to the 15, wait for the higher low to break, right? So here's the higher low. Price broke it. And then what do you have? You have a breakout, pullback, closing price, and then price went down, right? So you got that as well, right? So if you didn't get the top, you got that entry right there, and then price went down, and obviously it came back because it's in a range, right? So, but we're always focusing on the CMP. We're always focusing on structure, right? That's the most important. Okay, now let's go head on over to NAS. Go to the 1 hour. Delete all my drawings here. Let's go to Monday. Let's find Monday. Where's Monday? Monday. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So this is Monday, I think, right? Yeah, Monday. So what's price doing? Price looks like it's going up, right? Following the CMP. This is the breakout level here. That's closest to price. Go to the 30. Let's just take a look. So, okay, price is going up, right? Okay, price is going up. Go to the 15. What do we see? Right? And for me, I would have refined it to here. That would have been the first one because it's a break and retest. See, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came back, retested, and then went up, and then obviously it ultimately went down, right? So that's one way of looking at it, right? Now again, if you're following the CMP, you can go ahead and take a look in this area, because what did price give you? It gave you a double top, right? It's trending down at the CMP, double top. Both are valid, both of these scenarios are valid. It just depends on which way you want to go and your risk tolerance for it, right? So I'm just showing you two ways to looking at it. So there's no technical right or wrong. And if you go to the 5-minute, you can see that price had this QMR here, right? That was respected. See that? And then price put in this double top here, right? Which is also a break and retest. You can see price was going up, came down, breakout, right? Retested this level, and then price ultimately dropped, and then went back up, right? So I'm just kind of showing you guys a couple of different ways to looking at it. So that's basically what happened on Monday, right? So that was Monday. If you go to the 5-minute chart, you can also see where price went to. There was a QMR level here, right? So you had two QMR levels that were basically battling each other. So let's move this. So these are the two QMR levels for buying and for selling, right? So totally fine. You can take both. You can take whichever one you want, but you always have to have higher time frame context. So that's why I started on a 1 hour time frame, because I look at what current price is doing, right? So the buy would have worked, the sell would have worked, totally fine. Now let's go on head over to Tuesday. So Tuesday, again, there's a break and retest, right? Price pulled back to this level here. Go to the 30, right? Personally, I did not see anything as far as like a setup goes on the 1 or the 30. I just knew price was bullish. I was pulling back to this area, so I'm waiting in this area, seeing if anything happens, anything forms. Oops, go to the 5. All right, so then I'm noticing, okay, so here we go. Starting to notice, starting to see what I like to see. Now I need to see if there's a setup. Okay, let's go to the 1. So when price got here, I didn't see any setup, right, for buys. Excuse me. So there's no clear, obvious setup for me here. So this, for me personally, this was a missed trade. And yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. So then I go back to the 1 hour, right? There's just nothing I could do. Unless I took a break and retest and the 1 hour closing, right? Because the 1 hour respected it, but I didn't do that. I was waiting for a setup on the lower time frame. So yeah, that's basically what ended up happening there. This one, Wednesday, this was actually a good day, just a little bit earlier. So what's price doing? Price is going down. Look for a setup, right? Do I see anything on the 30? I do not see anything on the 30. Go to the 15. Do I see anything on the 15? I do see something on the 15. I have this breakout level here. Go to the 5. Just to see if it's more clear and obvious, right? What do you see on the 5? You see SNRC2, right? SNRC2. So this is an SNRC2, right? Or SNRC1. Pretty much similar, very, very, very similar. But anyway, this was the setup, and then entry was here, and then price dropped, right? So that was that simple continuation, right? And why are we selling there? Because look at the 1 hour time frame, right? Where's price going, right? Is it going up or is it going down? It's going down, right? So you can't get any more clear than that. So remember, you just want to keep it simple and follow where price is going, right? So this one's a little bit more tricky because at first glance, check this out. You have the lower high and the lower low, right? So you could be saying to yourself, okay, you know, I'm looking to sell. Maybe this is a level here, right? Just check this out. Just show you. Right? You can see that, right? It looks like it, at first glance, it looks like a QMR high, low, higher, lower, low, until until this creates. This to me is a sign that price is going to reverse, because just show you. You got to think logically, right? So price pulled down, came down, make a lower low, made a lower high, potential lower high, right? Because it has to confirm it by breaking this and becoming a new lower low, right? Price stopped here, right? So if price stops here, that tells me that's transitioning into a higher low, right? So now the price is becoming a higher low, a potential higher low, sorry. So then price shifts here to a higher low, breaks that. Now I'm asking myself, okay, where's price most likely to return to? So I have this breakout level here, right? Just going to show you as far as entries go. So I'm just going to drop down time frames just to see, you know, if anything makes sense. Okay, I have an SNRC1 here, right? That looks good to me. Let me go to the 5er. And this is a trade that I personally took. So I'll just show you what happened to me at first. So I took this trade, put my, you know, as always, risk management is always 10 points, right? And this is, I'm just going to show you why it's important to manage your trades and give them a second chance and how you give them a second chance. So what I noticed is that I'm looking at, since my entry setup was on the 15, right? Where's that? Where's that? Since you see that's on the 15, so I'm waiting for price to get there. I already set my pending order. I'm waiting on the 5 minute because obviously the 5 minute is going to close before the 15, right? So what ends up happening is price ends up taking me out. So I'm like, okay, price took me out. Now I'm waiting for this candle to close, right? When I noticed that this candle close respected the level, I immediately set another pending order to this level, right? And then what ends up happening, show you, price ends up tapping me back in, 10 points as always. I always aim for 200 as my top one of the max TP. That's TP2. So I made 1 to 20, and if I didn't get back in after this candle, I would have just had a losing trade, right? But that's how you give yourself a second chance. So I hope that helps. Yeah, right. And that's how you break it down, right? So super simple, right? You're just following price, right? You're following the CMP. You're following where price is going, right? Price right here is going up, right? Like this is what price is doing, right? If you're waiting for some level over here to get hit, like, you know, like this, I think this was the QMR here. I think this was the QMR, right? Yeah. But as you can see, price is already creating bullish structure. So I'm transitioning to this, right? I'm focusing on this, the CMP here. So that's that. Let's go to Friday, see what happened on Friday. Let me see. Friday, again, price is bullish, right? You just look at this, right? Again, I'm just going to show you how you read structure. You got to look at structure, right? What's price doing? Price is going up, right? Just show you in case you get confused. Oops. But this, there was barely any volume, right? Because I think there was a holiday, if I'm not mistaken, right? So when I noticed this, price pulled back here in closing price, right? This was an entry. This is the entry to take here on this candle. Breakout, pullback entry, and you had closing price. And this was for 7.5, but this would have probably gotten me. This probably will get me taken out at break even. Yeah, not yet, but that's how you go about it. Super simple, right? Where's price going? If you look at this chart, is it going up or is it going down? It's going up, right? And then we'll look at the structure, right? Obviously, that's the first thing you look at is structure, current structure, and what's the current structure? What's the current structure building? What is price doing? What is it doing? It's going up, okay. Where is it going to react to first? Okay, it's going to react to here first because we already know that from closing price. If we didn't get closing price here, this would still be the first reaction level I would use, and then price went up, right? So I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know.